Hello, this is Crypto Neptune, and I'm on to do a check-in on PulseDRIP to kind of assess the ecosystem, but also talk about Treasury bills and how Treasury bills can help the ecosystem. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice, and you should always do your own research. Thank you to those who like my videos, those who leave comments, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, I ask that you hit that subscribe button. It'll greatly help me out, and I'd appreciate it. So with PulseDRIP, we are sitting at $5.50. So still up from that launch price of $2, but that pullback is inching closer and closer to that launch price. And with H2O price, we're sitting at 1 cent, but we all know the power of H2O in those bonds, right? I kind of look at that H2O as kind of the fuel to the post-strip ecosystem, right? Because once you plunge in and put some nice buy pressure on H2O, it definitely helps the ecosystem since post-strips backs H2O, right? So once you buy into H2O, it's going to pump post-strip. And the price of PLS, now it's down also. It was around the 4 zeros and 6s sometime last week, and we've seen a pullback. So it's 4 zeros, 5, 5, 7, 8, right? So it's just kind of just staying the course and kind of seeing what happens with PulseChain and this new layer one, right? This could be a potential to be in on an ecosystem or being on a layer one solution that during the bull run explodes. So we want to do the best we can to kind of position ourselves accordingly. And then here's a Faucet count. So kind of here recently been slow growth on the Faucet side of things. So we're up to 1,345. So slow growth there. The Garden TVL remains strong. It's been over 1 million and pulled back a little bit, but that's a healthy 964K in the Garden. So definitely should be a proud moment for the post-strip community. So let's talk about Treasury bills and how they help the post-strip ecosystem. So with T-DRIP or the Treasury bills, start minting process. It says deposit PLS to mint a T-bill, so that's pretty self-explanatory. Choose the maturity date in weeks. And then it goes on to say here, a 10% deposit fee is applied, but is waived for deposits of 20 million PLS or more, right? So this is kind of like a brief explanation of the Treasury bills, but then we're going to go into like the buy and burn. And then the cool feature here is higher flexibility with T-bills. So earn with longer maturity, right? That's kind of how like a T-bill works in the real world, right? And it says APR potential increases with a longer maturity period. So it starts at 150% for a 4-week T-bill and goes up to 400% for a 52-week T-bill, right? So I kind of like this metric. It just kind of have like a little slider, and kind of the higher you go up, the more you can earn. So I kind of like the way this is set up. It's very slick. Utility of PLS deposits. 10% of PLS contributes to buying H2O bonds, right? So that's kind of how that works, right? So, and then it says here, so remember, when you buy into bonds, right, that's going to have to also on the back end buy PulseDRIP. That's kind of how that works. 20% used to buy and pair liquidity for T-DRIP, enhancing its trading ecosystem. And it says remaining 70% goes into a community buy and burn pool, promoting scarcity in the T-DRIP ecosystem. So this buy and burn pool will come into play. So we'll kind of explain that a little bit further. And then kind of the short and sweet of it is the Treasury bills are tradable NFTs. So I like that they kept that concept, and now that it's on PulseChain, those are tradable NFTs, which you could, so if you got a Treasury bill and it's like a 400% APR, that may be valuable to somebody, kind of depending on how much you put in. But You get the point of that. So getting down to the buy and burn section. And it says here, community empowerment focus. PulseChain prioritized community empowerment as a central value, right? So they want to empower the community to participate in the buy and burn. Community buy and burn function. Introduce a unique mechanism for long-term sustainability. When creating treasury bills and bonds, a portion of PLS goes to a community buy and burn pool, like we mentioned before, right? So this is very important here, right? Daily buy and burn operations. 2% of TVL is allocated daily for buy and burn activities. And then it says resilient mechanism. Ensures a consistent buy and burn cycle for PulseChain tokens even without new capital inflows. Creates a buffer for long-term sustainability and value. So there you have it. That is kind of the crux of it right there. With this buy and burn pool, it's going to give a consistent buy and burn cycle for PulseChain tokens, even without new capital inflows, right? So just imagine like if the PulseChain ecosystem was clicking like on all cylinders, right? So like imagine, a lot of people just buying a lot of treasury bills, right? And, that's kind of more PLS going into the ecosystem, right? The more we buying these treasury bills, right? So, but that would in turn kind of help really kind of light a fire under the ecosystem. And then it says here, community participation incentives. So actively encourage community involvement, right? Anyone in the community can trigger buy and burn, rewarded with 10% of available PLS every 10 minutes, right? So this is the cool thing about it, right? With the buy and burn, this is essentially available to anyone in the community, right? Once this says activate here, then you can push the activate button and it'll start the buy and burn. So I was going to push the button, so maybe we'll kind of wait for that to come active. Then I can push the button on camera and then kind of go from there. But this is kind of the importance of this, right? This is kind of, and the more people in the community that participate in the buy and burn, right, the more T-drip we can buy and burn, right? Look at this amount of the T-drip that we have bought and burn right here. And then the more H2O bought and burn as well. And remember, H2O, like we mentioned, it is backed by PulseChain. So when we're buying H2O, we're also putting that kind of that buy pressure on PulseChain as well. So, and then here's some of the rewards. And I've like done these buys and burns like over the last week. And it's really simple. You just hit the activate button and you kind of wait no more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you will have PLS rewards drop into your wallet, right? So for this particular buy and burn, looks like there's roughly 2,897. Looks like that's kind of going up. Now, so that number kind of goes up quickly. Let's see. Let's watch it. Yeah, see, it went up to 3,000. So it goes up kind of quickly, right? And it says available buy and burn. So this is the amount that's available to buy and burn. But it's a nice feature to have this available, this PLS available to kind of use for the community, but also kind of help the ecosystem. And as for me, you already know the story on how I kind of ended up with a treasury bill. Pretty much like I mentioned before, the short and sweet of it is I was on the Ethereum side and I just bought T-drip as a tradable token, right? Because the goal was to get 3 million, but the price shot up so high, I only ended up with like 106K of PDRIP tokens, right? So when they move that over to the Ethereum side, we got this XTDRIP, and pretty much your option was to click this button here and create a Treasury bill. I did not have a Treasury bill on the Ethereum side. I have one now, but it's, I would say since I've been in the Treasury bill, it has worked to my advantage because that price continues to tick up. And I believe a lot of that has to do with kind of this buy and burn and kind of chewing away at this supply, right? And there's also like a built-in mechanism, a 5% burn on H2O as well. So when you're actively buying that H2O, it does the same thing, right? So imagine just buying and burning, buying and burning, buying and burning, and chewing the supply up. It's going to eventually, if the community gets the sentiment back, it's going to put pressure on everything, right? And then kind of pump everything. That's so you have here. So this is the deal. You have a project here that is a working project, right? We know the capability of PulseChain and what PulseChain can do, right? We've seen PulseChain on a few occasions break all-time highs within what has it been, 5 months now? A 5-month time span. It's only been 5 months. It feels like a lifetime. Which is crazy to me, right? We've seen the potential with the bonds. The bonds are, again, valuable assets. Treasury bills are valuable assets, right? We already know what the garden has done because there's baked in buys within the garden as well. So it's just a matter of getting more eyes on PulseChain as a whole. Getting more eyes, right? I see that a lot of people in PulseChain, there's like a lot of kind of tunnel vision. There may be some people that they look at maybe like a couple coins and that's it, right? Whereas others may have like maybe a little bit more to their portfolio. And the reason why, I definitely want to keep PulseChain in my portfolio is because in crypto, you never know what's going to happen. You could be at the highest of highs of highs. I've been in projects that have just communicated to a T, that dotted their T's and crossed their I's. They did everything by the book, and still something happened. Something catastrophic happened out of their control, right? There's different scenarios and stuff like that, right? But so that's why I says you don't put your eggs all in one basket. You want to have several. Let's go back to the buy and burn them. You want to have several passive income streams, right? Because if one passive income stream goes down the toilet, you have another one to kind of back up with you, right? So, for me, yes, I definitely would like to see that PulseChain price go back up, right? We've seen pullback on it. I would definitely like to see that go back up, but again, it depends on the community. It depends on the sentiment. It depends on folks getting that trust back and believing in what they have, because again, it's right here. Okay, so we got the activate button. So I'm going to do this on camera now. I hit activate, and let's see. Let me try it again. Going to hit activate and see if that pulls up. Yep, I hit the activate button, and I'm going to attempt to get the ball rolling on this here. So what happened is the timer will start here in a minute. And then, I have like some rewards that'll drop into my wallet. That's pretty much how it works. But that's it. That's the short and sweet of it, right? You just hit the activate button. Yep, and see now there it goes, right? So that starts over. Rewards go into my wallet, and I'm done. You can only do this buy and burn once every I want to say 24 hours. So I'd have to come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. and do this buy and burn. So I encourage anybody in the post trip community to participate in this buy and burn. It costs you nothing other than a few cents of your your gas fees of PLS, but you know, come here. Anybody that has a post strip faucet can participate. Let me specify. If you do not have a post strip faucet, you cannot participate in this, right? If you don't have your faucet, buy you a faucet, and so you can participate in this buy and burn and get some free rewards. We all like free money. We all like free passive income. So for me, I hope that helped, kind of giving some clarity on Treasury bills and kind of how important they are to the ecosystem. They help with, again, they all those rewards from the Treasury bills kind of help towards this buy and burn here, right? So we have those rewards available. We can buy and burn TDRIP, H2O, and that kind of helps, with that additional buys coming into the ecosystem when volumes are not high. So again, like I said one more time, if this ecosystem is clicking all cylinders and the volume could be there, this it post trip could explode. But again, it depends on the community. It depends on can the sentiment be there to the point to whereas, okay, they care enough, or bringing in more people, right? We need, definitely need more content creators talking about it, right? More content creators talking about post trip, old and new, right? Some of the old ones may not want to, which is perfectly fine. But maybe some new content creators who are in post trip, they want to talk about it. Even if it's like a 60-minute short, do that, right? Word of mouth helps too as well. So for me, that's pretty much it. That's my ramble for today on post trip. I promised somebody in the Telegram I would give a post trip update and kind of talk about what's going on. But that is essentially it. Thanks for listening, and thanks for stopping by.